Hi, kamusta? Ang tagal na since we posted the video. So, right now, I am going to show you paano ako gumawa ng mermaid. Ang topper natin today is made of Captain's fondant. Pre-colored na yung fondant para medyo mabilis yung video. And as you can see, it's already more than an hour. So, bear with me. Actually, this was supposed to be a part of yung Buy Me a Coffee. But I've decided to put this up here para free. Plus, at least you get to see how I shape the figures. So, kanina nakita nyo kung paano ko shinape yung tail. And right now, I'm pressing it gently to position it sitting down dito sa boulder na pinaka pre-mold ko na. So, it's just black and white na fondant na medyo marbled, and then I shaped it, pressed it sa table para flat, and that's where the mermaid will sit. So, you see, I used the round part ng rolling pin to prepare yung torso ng mermaid. And press lang, pero you don't have to apply a very heavy pressure kasi nagde-dent kagad ang fondant. So, pre-puncture natin with a barbecue stick. Whenever you insert a barbecue stick, kailangan twisting motion. Parang sinuscrew mo siya kasi kapag press straight lang, yun, nade-deform yung naka-forma niya na fondant. Kasi nape-pressure siya. So, wag natin i-pressure. Ayan. So, may pre-puncture na yon, and sinituate lang natin yung naka-figure na tail. So, ayan. Once you are happy on how it is positioned, you also have to visualize paano yung flow ng tail. Lower body ng mermaid, yung hip, yan, hip line. Tapos, yung equivalent sa thigh part, yung knee, at saka yung legs. This one is yung torso and yung head. Usually, pag chibi, 1/3 ng torso, bali, yung head is, let's say, the ratio is 1, yung torso is 1/3. So, yun yung ratio. Ay, yun. Makikita nyo rin siya pag na-shape ko na. So, maraming portion sa video na to yung naka-speed up kasi if I go straight na it's real time, hindi siya 1 hour. Yan. So, this one, I'm generally shaping the head. The proportion nga is, let's say, yung 1 yung ratio ng head, and then 1/3 niya yung torso. Mas malaki yung ulo ba. So, I use the pinky finger to mark or prepare the area for the eyes and the nose. Yan. Parang hinihilot mo lang yung ulo. Yan. Tapos, yung temples, you use your fingers to prepare the shape. Unti-unti mo siyang lalagyan ng dent. Like this one, konting press lang, you already get a shape. and an indentation sa fondant surface. I usually make my own fondant, and to expedite yung pag-firm niya, I just knead in CMC powder or Tylose powder. Pero if I have enough time, I don't have to use them. All I do is knead it with cornstarch. So, masa-masa lang talaga. Kaya, laban ang daliri. Yan. So, hinihilot ko yung ilong. Yan. So, gusto ko siyang mas matangos, or kung gusto niyo mas defined yung ilong, pinch-pinch lang. Yan. You can see right now, it's possible to shape this without any tools. But if you want the defined features ng face, that's when you can use the fondant tools, like you see that I'm using there. To shape the definition ng nose, I use yung mas maliit na veiner na tool. Tapos, same din lang, light pressing, tapos alalay with the thumb para mas smoothen siya. Kasi, pag baby face, kailangan smooth, walang wrinkles. Yan. So, yan, makikita nyo, may sharp na indentation. Tapos, you use your thumb to smoothen that out. Yan. Banayad lang na hagot na. Yan. Tapos, we'll put the nostrils. Konting tusok lang for the definition ng nostrils. Yan. Okay. So, nakikita nyo na rin na may cheekbones na siya, chubby cheeks. So, ito yung boning tool. I use yung mas malaki ng konti na round, and then press it again with an angle para nagkakaroon nung corner yung eye. So, diretso muna, tapos angled para may yung corner ng eye. Yan. So, may eye sockets na siya. Yan. This is one of 2 head shapes that I decided to make para may choice. Yan. So, may kita nyo dun sa forehead, medyo defined yung place din kung saan ka maglalagay ng eyebrow. So, for this head, I decided kunyari para siyang kumakanta, because mermaids are also sirens. Yeah. Later, there's going to be another head that I will demonstrate. Yung simple smile lang. For this one, at least you have a choice or an option. So, this is the second head. Bilugin natin siya ulit. Just make sure na smooth yung pagkakabilog niya. Alalay din lang sa cornstarch. It easily sets and it easily crusts pag maraming cornstarch. So, pinky finger din again. Laging ganito yung ginagawa ko para may makita ko na kagad yung proportion ng face. No 2 heads that I make are exactly the same. So, dito pa lang makikita nyo na magkaiba yung shape niya. So, it's not likely that they'll look alike. So, sometimes the fondant speaks to me, Nax. So, So, this one, parang mas gusto ko elongated yung head. Tapos, parang gusto ko mas kita yung forehead. Yung sa naunang head kanina kasi, pag nilagyan na natin siya ng hair, hindi na masyadong kita yung forehead. So, ito, medyo nilakihan ko yung noon niya. Yan. If you are familiar with the figures ng Precious Moments, ganun, diba? Malalaki yung forehead. So, inspired doon, I hope, yung second head. So, this is another style of nose. And this is the mouth. Yan. Pinrest ko lang yung curved side ng isang fondant tool. And yan na. Smiling face na siya. Yung indention na nilagay ko sa gitna, it's preparation for the button nose. Yan. So, ginagawa ko na yung button nose. Yan. Pardon my fingers kasi immediately after tinting the fondant, I decided to make the figure. And as you can see, it's predominantly teal. And yan, medyo stubborn yung nasa fingertips ko. So, this time, yung eye sockets ng head na to, I decided to press it a bit farther apart. So, same, diretso and then angle para may eye corners. Yan. Yan. For this figure, I don't have to prepare or finish it with an ear kasi makapal yung hair niya and it's gonna cover the ears anyway, so I decided not to put ears anymore. Yan. So I have two heads prepared for the mermaid, but for this video, isang mermaid yung bubuuhin ko. But at the end of the video, you will see I was able to finish two toppers, and this one can be kept for at least a week and 2 weeks. Okay pa. I haven't tested an actual topper beyond 2 weeks because I don't prepare it that much ahead para mas okay for me. So, yung pag-prepare kong mag-attach ng head sa figure, pinipre-puncture ko rin siya ng barbecue stick, like that. And so, halfway, and then yung blunt side twisted in. And then, I removed it. So, it's kind of just preparing a hole for it para pag set na siya and I insert it sa torso, hindi na bibiyak yung head surface. So this one, you see yung torso is a third of the head and dyan ko rin kukunin yung arms. So I'd like to apologize ahead kasi when I made this video, I didn't know na nakorrupt yung isang part. And sadly, yung part na yun, yung pag-shape ng arms. But I have another video posted like years ago, yung sa baby. And it showed how to shape the arms. So it's similar to that. So, ayan. I've prepared the torso and you see how the neck is shaped. Yan. Since it's pretty soft, it's easy to prepare the connecting parts. Yan. And naka-pre-puncture din to. I'll show you how to insert the barbecue stick. But before that, yung placing ng arms, yung shoulder, yan, sockets para sa arms. So I do that before I insert the barbecue stick. Again, twisting motion sa gitna para kahit papano, you have to hold it in a way na natatansyan nyo, na tatago siya sa gitna pa rin. Yan, unti-unti lang. And then, yung pointed part, itatapat nyo lang siya dun sa naka-prepare na stick ng tail. Tapos, slide nyo lang siya pababa. Hindi kasi abot ng frame. So, ayan. So, tinapat ko lang siya and then slide down. Make sure yung parts na magdidikit, naka-prepare na siya with a dab of water. Light lang para magdikit lang siya. You don't need to put too much. Ayan. So, eto yung yan na, yung torso attached to the tail. Yun yung Charan! Magic. Yung part na nakurap. I just attached a lighter strip of fondant to connect the torso and the tail. So, ngayon, ang sineshape ko naman is yung shell para sa kanyang what do you call it? Bustier, Nax, bra. Yan. So, yan. Shape lang siya with parang teardrop. Tapos, the indention, I use the blunt side of the scalpel, which is also food safe kasi that's the scalpel that you can buy sa medical, surgical shop, sa drugstore. Yan. So, same. Teardrop, tapos medyo ipe-press nyo lang siya. Tapos, impression lang na blunt side ng scalpel, and then join the pointed parts sa center. Make sure you brush the surface with a bit of water. And, ayan, na dikit na siya. Ayan. Bakit ganyan yung position ng arm? Yung left hand niya, lalagyan ko ng maliit na kabibe. So, eto yung na-decide ko na ikakabit na head. But, before that, ilagay muna natin yung mata. So, I have the white, black, and brown, and medyo crusted na yung surface ng heads. So, yan. Let's make the eyes. So, yung brown and yung skin tone, yung black, then yung white. So, white first. Ano ba yung white part ng eye? Sclera. Tama? Bala na. Basta yung white part ng mata is yung white fondant. And for me, medyo tinatansya ko na lang yung size ng pupunuin na socket. Sometimes I put maybe a bit bigger than the prepared socket. So that's easy to fix. I'll just pick out a part of it using yung scalpel. Tapos, smoothen it out din with the tools. So, for now, yan. I'll just prepare really small white fondant balls. Tapos, taper it a bit on one side. Tapos, yun yung corner ng mata. And then, opposite for the other eye. Then, yung pangalawang head. even though I'm going to finish just one topper on the video, I opted to finish preparing the second head para isang roll lang per color. Yan. Sometimes when you do toppers often enough, you think you can expedite the production by doing parts of the toppers by phase and one part at a time. And as you can see, even with the tool, dahan-dahan lang yung pag-press para hindi siya porsado. Walang porsahan. Chill lang. Kaya when you make the toppers, you need all the time you can get. As ideally, you finish the topper a day ahead. Yeah, yun, ideally. But for me, sometimes choice ko na yung I finish it like 8 hours before I put it on the cake. Yan. So same thing with this head. Tool din yung pinang-flatten ko sa white part ng eyes. So yung gitna, medyo dinidiinan ko yung pag-press kasi preparation din yan for the cornea. I think. Iris. Yan. Yan. So, yung iba worried na parang sobrang laki yata nung puti na part ng mata. You can correct that once you put the eyelashes. Napapantay naman siya. We'll show you how we make the eyelashes as well. So ngayon, yung colored part ng mata, yung iris, tama ba? Yan, tama. Yung iris, I decided to make it a shade of brown in between sa skin tone niya tsaka sa magiging hair. So I pinched out equal portions of the dark brown with the skin tone and then kneaded it. O, diba? Ang bilis ko magmasa. Kunyari. Yan. Binilisan lang namin. Yan. So, same thing. Prepare it with a dent. Then, brush it lightly with water. Tapos, small balls ng colored na fondant. Attach and flatten. So, always have a dry brush handy kasi minsan nasosobran yung cornstarch. You have to brush it off. Yan. Just konti lang. Kasi ifa-flatten mo pa siya. So, when you do figures on cakes, parang nagkakaroon ka ng a small world of your own. When you look down, you get lost in time for a bit. Tapos pag tingin mo sa taas, pag tingala mo yung oras, hala, saan na napunta? Parang ba't ang dilim na? Yan. So, napansin nyo, with this one, bilog lang nung inattach ko. And I used the tool to flatten it. Yan. So, I did it this way so you can see it's okay. And this one, medyo flat na siya nung inattach ko. Tapos, lalagyan ko pa ng indention. One, to secure it sa mata para hindi siya malaglag. And another is to prepare it with indention for the pupils ng mata. Yan. So, both both methods or techniques work. Either you attach yung flattened na or bilog tapos ipipress mo, okay lang. Pero yung pag bilog tas ipipress mo, may kita mas rounded yung edges nung cornea. Rounded yung edges nung iris. And then pag flat na siya na nilagay mo, parang may flat edge kasi flat nga ang kulay. Yan, so ito yung pupils and it's black and we have to put it at the center ng iris. Yan. Yan. Tapos yung kabila, isa pa. Maliit din lang. And it has to be of the same size, syempre. Yan. Tapos ipipress mo siya with the tool ulit. Again, to secure and flatten it sa gitna ng iris. Yan. And konti lang, and then it flattens. Yan. Okay. Dito pa. Press natin. Yan. Yan. And we have to secure it at the center. Yan. There. So, to complete the cuteness, maglalagay tayo ng mas maliit pang fondant ball na puti. So, it's like yung shine ng mata. Yan. So, ginagawa ko ay pre-run the brush sa ibang fondant surface para hindi masyadong basa yung bristles. Kasi pag sobrang basa, baka matunaw or malusaw yung fondant. Sobrang water, it dissolves the fondant. You just need it to be a bit moist. Yan. So, konting kalit-lit. Oops, nahulog. So, yun. Ikakabit natin yan. Yan. Okay lang. I use the tip of the scalpel to pick it up and then reattach it. Yan. So, scalpel din yung pang press ko ng item in place pag sobrang liit. Yan. Kasi, yan. I need the pointed end of the scalpel to position the fondant. Yan. And then, for the right eye, right side, pero in a way, well, left eye nung mermaid, pero sa point of view natin, right. Yan. So, you see, may nagstick agad kasi medyo moist pa yung mata. So, what I do when that happens and may dumikit na fondant na hindi siya dapat nandyan, the tip of the scalpel, yan, gently removes it. Konti lang. Yan. So, may shine na yung mata niya. And now for the head that I'm using for the topper. So, same. Maliit na puting fondant. Yan. Tapos, kabit dun. Ay, nahulog na naman. Yan. Yan. Konti pa ulit. Tapos, yan. Make sure it's rounded. Kaya gumugulong. Kasi bilog. Yan. Yan. So, you can gently tap tap it or pat it in place. Yan. So ito medyo binawasan ko siya, parang ang laki niya kasi nung pinrest ko. And then I corrected the shape using the scalpel din. Yan. Okay, ready na yung dalawang head, pero isa dyan ang bubuuin natin na for the topper agad. Okay, now we're preparing the hair na fondant, pero of course we do the eyelashes first. I use black for the eyelashes. The brown will be for the eyebrows and the hair. Yan. So it has to be small, tapos i-roll nyo siya really thin and long. Yan. So you also need to target na pointed yung other ends. Yan. So you have to be careful when you use the scalpel blade. It's really sharp. So gaangan nyo lang, baka masugatan kayo. Ayan. If you're not used to that, you can use yung blunt side niya, wag yung blade side. Yan. So yan. Itatapat lang natin siya sa edge ng eyes. Take note that the surface where you're going to attach the eyelash is also brushed lightly with water. Again, it's not supposed to be really damp. It just has to be a bit moist, just enough to attach the part that you're putting on it. And then use the tip of the scalpel to position it the way you like. Yan. I have to apologize ahead kasi sometimes medyo engrossed na ako sa paggawa ng topper. I fail to notice na off focus na pala yung camera, and even worse, wala na siya sa frame. Sorry. Yan. So as much as possible, I like to document yung paggawa ko ng toppers kasi with that I also get to see yung process, the way I did it, the way I did something differently. Tapos parang uy, okay yun ah, parang okay siya, sige gawin nating standard. But again, for toppers and custom cakes and custom toppers, especially if you're using tools na hindi siya pre-molded, iba-iba talaga yung labas once you shape it with your hands. So in a way, yung characters have their own characters. May personality, ganun. May mahiyain, may outgoing, yan. May smiley face, may shy smile type, ganun. Depende. Tapos minsan, lagi ko naman siyang ginagawa, pero pag natapos na, parang, hindi sila magkamukha. Ayan. So, ito yung sa kilay naman ng pangalawang head. You will see a difference on how I made this. Yung isa kanina, parehong side pointed. This one, mas makapal ng konti, and I'll show you why. I'll show you why I I opted to roll it a little bit thicker. Yan. So yung pointed end dun sa kinat ko, yan. So I have to make it generally of the same length para magmukhang pantay yung pilik mata. Yan. Pansin ko kasi yun sa una kong ginawa, parang gusto kong medyo may makapal-kapal yung eyelash. So gawin ko dito sa second head. So again, I picked it up with the tip of the scalpel and then I positioned it dun sa edge ng mata. Yung pointed part nung niroll ko is yung sa farther end, yung sa side ng temple. Tapos yung thicker part nung niroll ko is closer dun sa nose. Yan. Nose side. Yan. Tapos I use the scalpel to cut bits of that and then push it to define more of the eyelash. Parang mas makapal tsaka mas mahaba yung eyelash niya. Yan. For some figures, there is also another way of making the details of the eyes. Hindi siya fondant. What they do, or sometimes I do it also, I use yung colored markers, yung mga fine point na colored markers. Maybe next time, next figure that I'm going to make and get to video, I'll get to show you those. Konting water lang para hindi siya mag-fall off. Yan. Tapos, to refine it, dapat medyo yung definition ng tips kita. Tapos, yung last end, masyadong mahaba. So, I use the tip of the scalpel ulit to fix that. And, yun. Kita nyo yun? Diba? Just a slight of the blade. Yan. So, yan. Kita nyo mas makapal yung pilik mata niya. Yan. Kabila naman. So, brush it again lightly with water. And then, attach yung naka-prepare na eyebrow. Yan. Tama. Eyelash pala. Attach, yan. Tapos, again, just try to balance it out with the other side. Parang reverse. This is a struggle for me kasi kita ko agad ang ganda ng pagkakalapat ng kilay o kaya pilik mata ng isang side. Tapos, i-reverse ko siya sa kabila. Parang, paano yun? So, ang ginagawa ko, binabaliktad ko yung ulo. Para, yun, same side. Because, yun, I'm right-handed. And maybe you can do the reverse style naman kapag if you're left-handed. Astig kung ambidextrous, diba? Yan. So, brush yung area kung saan ikakabit yung head. Yan na. So, kita nyo na nag-set na yung torso tsaka yung tail. Kasi, as long as it's exposed to air, it's going to firm up. So, ito yung pag na-shape nyo na, huwag nyo na siya masyadong i-press kasi dun siya nabibiak. And it's also important. That's the reason why it's so important na naka-pre-puncture yung core na barbecue stick para pag ikabit mo na siya, hindi nabibiak. So, ito, naka-pre-mark lang yung eyebrows. Para, wala lang, makita ko yung, okay, sige, dyan. Kung hindi, pag masyado mataas, I can easily rub it and then rescore. Yan. So, yung scored part, i-brush din siya ng water. And then, yung brown na fondant, I use similar yung procedure niya with the eyebrow and eyelash. Pero pag eyebrow, I don't cut yung extra lashes na unless the character would have a bushy eyebrow. I do that. Pero for her, yeah, kilay is life. And so, we pick it up with the scalpel tip and then position it. Yeah. And position there. And the other one. Oops. Flip. Yan. Flip. Kabila. Para pantay. Yan. Tapos, ipoposition mo na lang yung arc niya. Yan. O, diba? Kilay is life. Define natin yung kilay. What is kilay? Define. Yan. So, there. Oh, may kilay na yung mata. Now, we're going to prepare for the hair. Yan. Brown yung hair na pinili ko for her. Yan. That's the brown fondant. It's important that you keep this fondant, yung hair na fondant, malleable. Yun. Dapat hindi siya yung masyadong matigas. Lalo pag sineshape mo pa lang, kasi for hair, kailangan maporma mo pa siya to the hairstyle that you like for the topper. So, for me, ang ginagawa ko, ganito, yung, yan, parang rope. Tapos, yung ends, I curled it up. Pero, hindi yung buong strip naka-curl. Yung ends lang for mermaids. Pag bride and groom, yung bride, depende rin sa hairstyle na gusto ng bride. Pwedeng naka-bun, tapos may maliit na wisps of hair sa may bangs niya, gana. But for the mermaid, I like it like this. And the first strips or strands of hair that I attach sa head frames the face muna. I also use the hair pag yung mahaba na hair yung style niya. I use it to secure the head sa shoulders. Like, you can dampen the areas that will attach the hair and where the hair would fall. Tapos, pe-press mo with that tool, yung veiner tool. Pero, unti-unti lang. Once this dries, it will limit the movement, if not really make the attachment ng head sa neck very sturdy. So, you won't have to worry na sa biyahe biglang iikot yung ulo ng topper kasi hindi siya secured sa neck. Pag ganito, yung hair anchors the head to the torso. Yan. So, yung gilid muna ng face, yung nilagyan ko ng hair para makita kagad yung framing ng kanyang face shape. Yan. So, sometimes, hindi naman siya kailangan pantay na pantay. Depende rin sa style ng hair na gagawin mo. Yan. So, dito, I curl it. And then, yung other end, straight lang. Yan. Dahan-dahan din yung pag-curl kasi minsan pag mabilis ka mag-curl, nagkakaroon ng crease and nabibiak yung, in a way, yung tendrils. So, ayaw nating magka-split ends yung mermaid. So, kailangan smooth siya. Smooth. Yan. Tapos yung curl adds drama sa frame ng face niya. And I really build yung hair ng ganito. Parang a fold of rope at a time. Sometimes yung ibang style ng hair, yung straight na cut or shoulder length, yun, parang mas mabilis siya, pero in a way challenge din kasi kailangan makita na may parang details na several hair indentions. So ito kind of defines yung curls already. And sa curl, makikita mo na cute-cute na rin siya. Yan. Yan. You notice I brush the shoulder a bit with water. Yan. Para ma-secure yung end ng hair sa shoulder. Again, to anchor the head sa neck. Brushing off the excess cornstarch. And then I use the blunt side of the scalpel. Yan, naka-flip yung scalpel to define more sort of tendrils nung hair. This also allows yung mga susunod na i-attach for the hair, mas na-anchor siya, mas kumakapit kasi textured yung nilalapatan. So, nagkakaroon siya ng grip. Yan, nagkaka-grip. Yan. And then, as you attach, before you put the next piece, make sure you use the veiner to secure yung nailapat mo na. Yan. So, kita nyo with the brush, hindi masyadong marami yung water. Kunti lang. Just enough to dampen the surface. Yan. So, yan. Let's build the hair. Yan. Alam ko, same thing. You just curl the ends, flatten the other side a bit, and then attach. Yeah. Then attach. Somehow you'll already see yung length ng hair. Actually, yung magiging definition ng length would be the first two sides ng face. Tapos, susundan na lang siya all around the head. Yan. Binilsan na natin. There. Yung what I'm doing right now is to expedite din yung pag-curl nung end. You can also use this, yung a piece of the barbecue stick or a toothpick, and then use it to curl the tendrils and then press it sa head. Yan. Yan. And then secure it again with the veining tool. And then you work your way up para matakpan yung buong head. Dapat walang scalp na nakikita. Makabalat ang hair niya. And it has to be volumized next. Kapal, curly. In a way, wavy. Sirena eh. Some figures also make it look like underwater siya. So, you can experiment on the hairstyle that you want. And so, we're already building on her hair. Ayan. So, we'll just work our way up hanggang sa forehead. Now, ilalagay natin yung bangs. Yan. Para maporma pa rin yung bangs niya. We also have to define yung kung saan nagpa-part yung hair. Again, be careful in brushing water. You don't want it to drip all the way down sa mata. There. And the other one. What's different with this part of the head, medyo teardrop yung shape ng ina-attach natin. It's like leaf. Pero yung one side is rounded, the other side is flat. And then i-repress siya with the veining tool for more definition. Yan. So we define the rounded part. This actually is going to be the anchor or the surface ng mga final strands of hair na i-attach natin para mas full yung itsura ng buhok. And then the other one. Actually, after this portion of the hair, pwede na rin, pero I wanted her to have fuller hair, so dinagdagan ko pa to. Yung veining tool actually blends yung paglapat ng buhok para hindi halata yung pieces na pinatong-patong, para magmukha siyang it comes from one whole fondant piece. Yan. This is the point when I was looking at it and decided, gusto ko ng mas may drama. Gusto ko dagdagan ng drama yung buhok niya. So, I did. Yan. Umasa pa ako ulit. Palambot ako ulit ng dark na brown. Tapos, this time, yung dalawang piece na ginawa ko is fairly thinner than the ones you saw that I attached to the head. again, the other end will be curled a bit. But since this one is just to add volume, medyo pangkapal lang siya talaga ng buhok. So, babrushan lang yung kung saan siya i-attach ng konting water. Konti lang. Yan. Just enough to moisten it. Tapos, position lang siya in a way that makes me happy. So, yan. I thought, okay. I'm happy with that. Yan, medyo nakaangat yung tip. And this is yung sa akin, sabi ko, para kunyari underwater siya, kuno. Medyo may shine yung hair doon. Parang may puting spot. But, yun, it catches the light. Kaya, shiny siya. I think dinagdagan ko pa rin to eh. After taking the video, parang, gusto ko pa siyang kapalan. Kasi, parang ginagawa kong curling iron yung barbecue stick. This is the other side na. Or is it the same side? Same side. Yeah. And sabi ko, gusto ko pa siyang dagdagan. Yan. Diba? Very youthful kasi ang kapal ng hair. Yan. Tapos, yung other side, syempre, makapal yung left side ng hair niya. Medyo dagdagan din natin yung right side head niya. Yan, dun sa side niya. Again, hindi rin kasing kapal nung mga una kong ni-roll. Yung, lang, manipis lang. Ang drama lang. Favorite term, drama. Yung curling iron natin. Salamat sa barbecue stick. Nakikita niya yung isang head nakatingin sa kanya. Parang, ako yan mamaya. Meron din akong katawan, may tail. Lalagyan din ako ng hair. Yan. Pero sige, ikaw muna. And sometimes when you make a topper, para ka rin hair and makeup artist. Yes. I'm not really good at putting makeup. This is as close as I can get to that. Yung awesome talaga ng mga makeup artist kasi for me, parang magic yung ginagawa nila. Parang wow. What? Lapit na siya matapos. Unti-unti na akong sumasaya sa buhok niya. Happy na ako. Makapal na yung hair niya. Ayan. Brush ng water ulit. Tapos, kabit ng buhok. Press ng veining tool para ma-unify siya sa mga nauna mong kinabit na hair. Para hindi may kita na. Parang pag nakita kasi yung point kung saan mo siya in-attach. Parang putol-putol yung hair niya. So, iniiwasan natin yung makitang ganun siya. Ayan. Ito na siya. So, we let this set. That's the mermaid. Yung pinaka-tip ng tail, it's just flat na lighter shade of the teal. Ayan. Tapos, brush with water and then in-attach ko lang. Yan na. So, this one was allowed to set for like 2 days. Ayan siya sa likod. Ito yung kapatid niya, binuo ko na rin. Yan. Redhead yung isang mermaid. Diba? Mas defined yung kanyang curls. Mas sanay siyang gumamit ng curling iron. Yan. Nung natapos ko yung dalawang figure, sabi ko, ay, mukha siyang mag-ate. Thank you for joining me sa video na to, and I do hope to see you again on the next video. This is Lynn from Captain's Mix and Magic.